What if I told you the richest people in the world aren't just competing, they're fighting a quiet war? Not with weapons, but with power and influence. On one side, there's the old money or the Rockefellers, who built their empire on oil and quiet control. On the other hand, there's new money, or should we say Mark Zuckerberg, who rose through data and tech. This fight isn't just about being rich, it's about who controls the future, and that could change everything for the next 100 years. Origin of empires. John D. Rockefeller wasn't just a rich man, he shaped what many called the American dream. By 1916, his company, Standard Oil, didn't just lead the oil industry, it was the oil industry. At its highest point, it controlled about 90% of all oil produced in the US, influencing everything from how people traveled to matters of national security. If you adjust his wealth for today's value, he'd be over worth $400 billion, more than Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg combined. But Rockefeller didn't stop at building a business, he built a legacy. Behind closed doors, he used secret railroad deals to beat rivals, started price wars that crushed small businesses, and used money to win over politicians. When the government finally tried to break up his monopoly, he didn't panic. Instead, he saw opportunity. He split up Standard Oil, but kept large shares in the new companies. In the end, he made even more money. Then he was also a philanthropist. He gave away land, helped start universities, and created the Rockefeller Foundation. It looked like kindness, but it was also smart. These moves protected his money, kept his influence strong, and shaped his legacy for generations. And his home was not just a mansion. Kaikut, his estate, was more like a castle with secret tunnels, grand art galleries, and views meant to impress world leaders. Now, let's take a trip to the modern world, shall we? You'll find a dorm room, a hoodie, and no family fortune. Mark Zuckerberg didn't inherit wealth, he built Facebook from scratch. In just 5 years, he went from college drama to controlling how billions of people connect. Not with oil or trains, but with data, algorithms, and attention. Rockefeller drilled into the earth, but Zuckerberg drills into the mind. These are very two different paths, but surprisingly, it has one shared goal: how they flex power. Here's where things start to feel a bit uncomfortable, because this isn't about fancy cars or gold watches, it's about a different kind of power, the kind that doesn't go viral on Twitter, because it owns Twitter. Take the Rockefellers. They don't post selfies or chase headlines. They quietly fund major institutions, shape global policies, and influence decisions through networks most people have never even heard of. You'll find their fingerprints on the University of Chicago, the Council on Foreign Relations, and even the World Bank. Their influence stretches from Ivy League schools to international oil markets, yet most people rarely mention them. Also, their art is hidden in private rooms at the Museum of Modern Art. These masterpieces aren't just pretty, they're worth billions, tucked away as tax-friendly assets passed down like royal treasure. We call this the Rockefeller genius. Now compare that to Mark Zuckerberg. He plays the game differently. His power isn't hidden, it's on display. He's quietly bought over 1,500 acres of land in Hawaii with off-grid bunkers, private roads, and high-tech security, drawing backlash from locals. He spent $36 billion trying to reshape the internet with the metaverse, although he was laughed at by some, but still a serious long-term move. And in 2022 alone, he spent $27 million on personal security, not just for safety, but because he understands how much control he holds. Actually, his biggest move was the Chan-Zuckerberg initiative. This is a $45 billion project wrapped up as a charity, but built as an LLC with no public rules and total control. He didn't just copy the Rockefellers, he studied them and coded a modern version of their empire. Culture clash, why they hate each other. To old money, Mark Zuckerberg is an outsider, more like someone walking into a royal palace wearing flip-flops. He doesn't dress the part, he doesn't follow the unspoken rules of high society. He skipped the elite schools, private clubs, and the generations it usually takes to build a respected family name. In their eyes, he didn't earn his place. He broke the rules and hacked his way in. One day he's just a college student coding in a Harvard dorm. Next he's sitting with world leaders and shaping global conversations. To families like the Rockefellers, that's more than surprising. It's offensive. Legacy to them is something passed down through bloodlines and tradition, not something you can build with an app. Interestingly, Zuckerberg didn't walk in through the front door. He created his own digital path, and now he's running the whole building. But it's clear he doesn't quite fit their mold. The stiff Senate hearings, how he speaks like a machine, and even his massive Hawaiian estate that's angered locals. Although he's powerful but not polished, and that makes traditional elites uncomfortable. Still, Silicon Valley sees it another way. To tech giants like Zuckerberg, old money is stuck in the past. They see these families as hiding behind charities while sitting on wealth made from industries that damage the world. This then leads to a difference in the thinking gap. Old money thinks Zuckerberg lacks class, while new money thinks old money lacks relevance. It's hoodies versus tailored suits, and underneath it all is quiet resentment. Old money hates that he wasn't invited in. New money hates that the invite still matters. It's a status war between those who built the gates and the ones who tore them down. So, old money or new money? Whose side are you on? Comment below, let's settle this in the replies. Meanwhile, if you're loving this luxury ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and repost for your friends to see. Dark truth. The uncomfortable truth is that this was never really about money. It's always been about the rules, who makes them, and who gets to break them without consequences. For years, old money played this game slowly and carefully. Every decision was made to protect their power, not just for a few years, but for future generations. They built schools, funded foundations, and made sure their names were quietly tied to important places. Then new money arrived. Fast, bold, and loud. People like Mark Zuckerberg didn't wait for permission. They created their own platforms and changed the game completely. While old money played by tradition, new money made its own rules. But now, something surprising is happening. They're joining forces. While most of us argue about whether billionaires should wear suits or hoodies, or get caught up in online drama, real power is coming together behind closed doors. Zuckerberg brings tools like social media, global reach, real-time data. The Rockefellers bring the wisdom, legal protection, family trust, and long-term strategy. Together, they're becoming more powerful than ever. Zuckerberg isn't just about new money anymore. He's turning into old money, and the old families, they're going digital. The line between past and future, tradition and technology is starting to disappear. There's no longer a fight over who wins, because now they win together. Next battlefield, legacy. The real twist remains that Mark Zuckerberg doesn't want new money. That label is temporary. It means you're rich but still seen as an outsider. Guests can be asked to leave. Zuckerberg wants something more. He wants to be permanent and doesn't just want money. So he's building it step by step. He's opened private schools, designed with his own curriculum. He's already deep in Washington, spending over 20 million years to influence politics. This guy is quietly setting up family trust, protecting wealth for generations. He's planning a future where his children won't need public approval or boardroom votes. They'll inherit power like royalty, only instead of crowns, they'll hold data and algorithms. But while Zuckerberg pushes to become old money, the original players aren't sitting still. The Rockefellers are evolving too. People think they're stuck in the past, but behind the scenes, they're investing in the future. You'll find them in climate tech, crypto, biotech, even AI. They're putting money into the very tools that could replace them, just so they can own the disruption. Do you know why? These guys have seen this cycle before. New wealth rises fast, grabs attention, burns bright. Then it either fades or it gets absorbed. Who is winning? Well, that depends on what you mean by winning. If winning means owning the past, then the Rockefellers have already done it. Their influence is stitched so deeply into society that most people don't even notice. They sit quietly on Ivy League boards, fund think tanks that guide global decisions, and support non-profits, banks, and billion-dollar art collections tucked away in museums. Their strategy has always been to be everywhere, but never too obvious. But if winning means owning the present and possibly shaping the future, then Mark Zuckerberg is playing a whole different game. Every time someone taps, scrolls, or clicks, they're touching platforms he created. He doesn't just see what people do, he steers it. In seconds, he can shift global conversations, push trends, and even tilt elections, all without stepping foot in a government office. So while old money preserves the past by supporting galleries, history, and legacy brands, Zuckerberg is busy building the future. He's pouring money into brain-computer interfaces, gene editing, and artificial intelligence that might one day outthink entire countries. One side stands for legacy, the other for speed and innovation. And as money, data, and biology begin to blend, the real winner won't be the richest, it'll be the one who shapes how the future thinks. Want to know who's next? Subscribe and stay curious, because the next empire isn't coming, it's already here. You just haven't seen it yet. For the full drama of how the rich clean their image better than your favorite influencer, check out Luxury Laundering: How Dirty Money Buys Respectability Part 1 and 2. You'll love it.